So I have this list of everywhere I want to go to and for how long. And it's currently I'm using it to prop up my bed now, so it's in a notebook that I can't access. So I'm going to try to do it from memory. And this isn't in chronological order of when I want to go to these places. Um, Russia? Well, I'm going to kind of do it in order because they're going to be the most important ones I'll probably mostly say first. Russia, China, and Egypt and Brazil are probably the top four. And also Mongolia and Mexico. Um, I'd also like to go to Japan and Korea and a lot of countries in the Middle East, mostly Saudi Arabia, Iran, um, Syria, Iraq, Jordan, um, I'd also like to go to Tunisia. That's not on the list. Or in the Middle East. Um, and oh, there's a lot of other places I'd like to go, but I'm just gonna list the ones I want to go to most. I'd like to go back to Israel, Palestine. Um, the rest of these probably aren't on the list, but I'd like to go to Reunion Island and um, Cambodia, Vietnam. Oh, Canada is on the list. I haven't really spent any time there. And in the States, I'd love to spend time in Alaska and Florida, and more time in Texas again, and in, I mean, yeah, obviously, like, Southern California, inland is really nice, and the coast. And, oh, I'd love to go to Colombia. I'd love to spend some time in the Caribbean, so many places there. Go to Puerto Rico, Haiti, go back to Republican Dominicano, Jamaica. I don't know if I want to go to Jamaica. Of course I want to go to Jamaica, come on. But like, I don't know. I'm sure it's better than how it's depicted. Um I mean obviously like Antarctica. Oh, and like Iceland. Um Germany? Did I put Germany on there? Oh, and like UK. Like I feel like I'll probably just be there at some point in England. And yeah, I'd like to go to Spain. I mean, I'd like to just do like a long Europe trip at some point. Um, but as far as like the regions that really appeal to me, like just like Russia and China is probably the biggest one. Like I'd like to just spend a really long time in both of those countries. Um, And yeah, I'd like to spend a lot of time in Africa and a good amount of time in the Middle East. You know, I'm sure like once I get somewhere that I want to be, I'll end up staying there for longer, but um, I don't know, for some reason I feel like, I don't know, I want to learn Arabic and Farsi before I like go to countries where I don't speak the language, even though I'm sure they'll speak English in a lot of the places I go. I just would really want to know the language there. Um, in sub-Saharan Africa, it's probably like, I don't know, I'd probably go to like Tanzania or Namibia just because those are the places I know anything about. Um, I'd love to go to Kenya. Ooh, and the Gambia. That would be nice. That would be dope. And like Ethiopia, obviously. Ghana. Um, well, Africa sounds really nice, actually. Wow. Yeah, that would be super interesting going to somewhere like Nigeria. Oh my God. I couldn't imagine. I could not imagine that. Holy shit. And then, yeah, I mean, I planned out, like, with my original list, it would take me, I think it was only 5 years to do everything that I wanted. Or 7 years, I'm not sure. But it's, I think it was only 5, and I was spending a really long time in everywhere that I went to, for the most part, so it, it really doesn't take that long. And it's also not expensive to travel at all. Um, it's only expensive to fly. But, you know, with like a couple $100 you can get somewhere and then you're good. I mean, it can be pretty free to live. I don't know. Like here I spend way more money than I need to, but it's still like, I mean, I don't know, maybe like $10 a day, but I could do it cheaper for sure. For sure. Um, I mean, that's including my rent. Um, what was I gonna say? Yeah, so I guess I'd do like super long, like I'd want to be like living in China, like pretty stationary, like maybe live somewhere for a year, travel around for a year or 6 months. Um, I need to go back to India, obviously, for a few more months at least. And Russia, I'd want to spend a really long time living there. Like Russia is like a place like that I would actually live, I think. I don't know. I've never been there. And then, yeah, I'd want to travel through Canada, do another few trips through the States, live in Mexico for a little bit. And then I feel like I would like move to Brazil ultimately and live somewhere in like Amazonas or I don't know. I'd love to like close to like Peru sort of. But still pretty deep into Brazil. Brazil's so massive, you know? And I don't feel like I'd have to go everywhere there, but more just like kind of really live somewhere there. Um, yeah, like what did I plan? I said maybe like a year traveling through Europe, not including the UK. That would be a separate thing, you know, for like a few months. I don't know. Then like maybe 6 months traveling through the Middle East, a year through Africa, and then like a year in China, a year in Russia, and then like a few months in Korea, Vietnam, uh, Japan. Japan's expensive as fuck. And then yeah, maybe like 4 months in Florida, a couple months in Alaska, like a summer there. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't really feel like I need to live in America again. Like, I'd like to spend some more time in Texas. Like the thing is, when I was in America last, or the time before last time, I just wanted to be like as close to Mexico as possible. There isn't. I mean, it's super fun to travel there, but I don't really like living there, I guess. It's my favorite country to travel in. Um, but it's so expensive and just not worth it, I don't think, living there. Um, really anywhere. I mean, even in Texas, like it's I don't know. Maybe it'll change. Maybe they'll change. I'm trying to think if there's any. Would I? I don't know. I have dreams like when I'm asleep, dreams all the time about living in the Midwest again. All the time. Because that was like when I was talking about powerful experiences with religion. Like I had a really life changing. Maybe I'll make a video about that at some point. But yeah. Trying to think if I'm forgetting anywhere. Like, I guess yeah. To just list everywhere. Like, I'd love spending a lot of time in like Eastern Europe also. Um, and that would be like maybe separate from the year Europe trip. Like to also just spend longer periods of time in like Croatia, Estonia, Ukraine. I would just want to be in Russia though, honestly, at that point. I'm not that interested in traveling Europe. Like, I don't know, like I'd love to go to Greece and Italy and uh, maybe some more time in France. I'd go back to Portugal and Spain. Like it would be nice, you know, but just coming from United States, it's like not that intriguing to me. Um, I'd just be going to just like meet German girls. Um, but yeah, I don't know. And I'm just trying to think where else. Uh, trying to think in Northern Africa. It's like if there's a country that I really want to go to, then it makes me not as interested in the countries like next to it, except for like China and Russia. And I guess like Israel and like Lebanon and Jordan. Um, I'd love to go back to Indonesia too. Oh my God. I'd love to go to Sulawesi and to West Papua and to Sumatra and spend more time in Java. Go to like Central Java and yeah, like Yogyakarta. Um, Papua New Guinea, that's an interesting one. I don't know if I'm ready for that. That's maybe the one place I feel like I wouldn't travel to yet, you know? Like, because I feel like there you'd have to do like a really, really expensive, like super touristy trip or like a I might get impaled trip, you know? Um, I'd love to, oh, I'll probably do like a transatlantic voyage would be dope. That feels like something I have to do at some point. Trans-Pacific, I don't know. That would be crazy. That would be insane. I don't know what the routes are, but to like go to like Australia from the States. Is there a harbor in like there has to be. I don't know where the big harbors are in California. Like I know they do those races, but I don't know about like where the cargo ships go. I mean there has to be one close to LA, right? I'm pretty sure the amount of stuff that still gets shipped by boat is like way more than we think. Because I think it's still a lot cheaper that way, but I guess obviously takes longer. But if it's something like, a big, it, there usually wouldn't be a need for like fast shipping though, because it's like if you have that much inventory, then you're not going to sell it all by the time it takes another ship to come, because you can use like more than one ship, obviously. I don't know. I'm not sure how all that works. Um, and I don't know how much I value like time on the ocean, you know? It's more just the like experience of getting somewhere that way. Like I'd love to go like from where I am now to like go to Europe by land, you know? And that would mean like I'd have to go through like Myanmar and then into B- Bangladesh or just go to China. Um, I mean, I could do most of it just traveling through China and then like Kazakhstan and uh, basically I'd be in Europe at that point. But I mean, to like go back through India and then Pakistan, I don't know if you can do that. If you can cross that border, it might need to be like India and then China or like Nepal, China. Yeah, I'd love in India. I'd love to go to Kashmir, um, and go back to Tamil Nadu, and yeah, I just go to Kerala. Like when I was there, I just wanted to be in like fucking like Uttarakhand, Pradesh, and like uh, Madhya Pradesh, like just in the shit, you know, like in the real shit. This Indian guy said to me, he's like, the northern India is, no, he goes like, northern India is real India, southern India is nice India, or something like that, which I thought was really funny. And then like obviously Kashmir is and Jammu is different, but I thought that was funny. It was so different than what I expected. I don't know. But it's the most beautiful place I've ever been, for sure. Like, easily. Like, that and that beach in Indonesia. And, yeah, I mean, national parks in the States, of course, but, like, oh my god. Taking the train there is fucking, like, it was so beautiful. Parts of it are not, but, like, it just keeps changing. Um, where else? I'd love to go to Sri Lanka and like Singapore. I'm just kind of listing places. I don't know if I want to go to Singapore. I feel like I probably will be there at some point. Like, if I get really sick, I'd probably go to Singapore or KL. Mongolia, I'd spend a few months. I don't know why I set these like time restrictions because I have no idea like how long I'm gonna stay places. Like, I don't know. I wish I was like crustier sometimes. Like that I was really like down to just be like homeless and like illegal and shit. Like, but I'm not. It's just not who I am, you know. Like, I'm always gonna have my passport. I'm always gonna like have a visa or whatever, and it restricts you. But it's like I'm just not. I'm not good with that kind of shit, you know. I get anxious and I don't break the law. Like, it's just not what I do. Even in the States, like I didn't, you know, I would park at like places where it was legal to park, you know. Um, I never had any troubles with that. Like I'm down to like trust people and stuff. Like I'm down to like hitchhike, but not to like I don't know, like I would never like illegally enter a country or do anything like that, you know? Um, but sometimes I wish that like I was one of those dudes with dreads. One of those white guys with dreads that just like you know, just kind of followed energy and everything always worked out and shit. But those guys are kind of assholes too, a lot of the time. You know, I feel like I might be would be kind of a more boring person. Because I think at a certain point, stuff kind of stops being exciting, and it's probably like, honestly, I'm probably pretty close to that. Like, I think a few years of traveling, it just becomes like your life, sort of, and then it's not exciting. You have to start living with native communities, and then that gets boring, and then you gotta start like, I don't know. I mean, I think it's a lot more redeeming to just kind of have a career than to like be homeless and just like be free, you know. It's like I don't think that's what people want. Like, of course it's like everyone fantasizes about quitting their job, and like for me, like I can tell you that, you know, when I first like traveled by myself, I was so, I mean, not only did it like help me more than anything ever had, but well, maybe that's an overstatement, but like not only was it huge for me as far as like my mood went for the rest of my life, it like I was so I I can just tell you, like, taking a bus by myself was like, I couldn't compare anything to that. I didn't want to do anything more than just get on a fucking bus. And when I did it, it was so nice. And I just went to fucking like New York, like 4 hours away. Like it wasn't even a big deal. Um, but I was there, and then I just was like walking around like Brooklyn, and I was just like, so like I was just like, okay, so I can stay in Brooklyn, like I could move here, or I could like get on a fucking plane and like go like to LA. And it was just such a nice feeling to be like, I can go or stay anywhere. But I don't feel that way anymore. Now it's like, yeah, but so what? I don't know. It's like, yeah, it's still exciting, but it's not, you know, and now like I've just taken so many fucking bus rides that it doesn't, you know, it's like I still like taking the bus, but I don't know. I met this guy in on a train leaving Yosemite. It was later on that same first America trip. Maybe I'll do a whole recording on that, but he was from Brazil, and he was telling me how he had been to Africa and to a bunch of different places, I don't remember where, and said that, and he was a climber, and he was saying that like when you're traveling, oh, into India, and he was saying that like when you're traveling, it's like the fear, it makes the fear go away, and sometimes it like will come back, but it's like not as much, and then it will go away again. And that was like, to me at the time, I was like, oh my gosh, like that was all that I wanted, and now it's happened, and it's like I kind of miss it, you know, because it's like once you're not afraid, then yeah, of course it's better, but it's like, then what do you do, you know? I don't know. Like it's like beating a video game, and then what do you do? And I don't know if I should say this. Conquering fears is, do I really want to like analyze conquering fears? Well, what I was just thinking was that I'm not sure if it's actually like how people think about it, like conquering a fear is like you're like defeating a dragon. Because when you conquer a fear, what you learn is that you were wrong to be afraid, you know? I mean, it's like, then you say, this isn't, like, I was just wrong, you know? Like, I was afraid for no reason. Like I was just being illogical and worrying about this thing. Or irrational, or I don't know. Like with trusting people and stuff like that, like I don't know. I was realizing that today. And I think part of it is just where I'm living, but I was just like walking down the street and I was just like, wow, I completely trust everyone here. Like I'm just have no fear whatsoever about like anyone hurting me. Um, I don't know. And I guess these things are, I guess, sort of irrelevant to most people's lives because usually you're not in situations where you might need to be like, you know, getting rides at night or like getting rides or asking people where you can sleep and shit like that. I did that in LA once, and I went into like a tattoo shop and was asking like if they knew any spots to like sleep outside. He's like, that's kind of an awkward question. Like, all right, well, it didn't have to be awkward. You kind of just made it awkward, but it's like, no worries, bro. I guess that was a weird thing to do. They were probably like, what the fuck, man? Um, Ireland, sure. Where do I not want to go? I guess just places I've been. I don't want to go to. I don't know if I want to go back to Charleston. Um, I've never been interested in going to like Alabama or Mississippi. So I don't know if I want to go there. I'm sure there's like parts of Canada that I would be kind of bored in, but a lot of it I think it's really beautiful. I don't know. I've always been like more interested in like Central America than South America. I don't even know if that's true. Where do I not want to go? Like I guess just like the places that are going to be like yeah, I guess like Singapore, like places that are just kind of like very um like expensive like cities. But I'd love to like go to like Beijing and like Tokyo. I know those are super different places, but like, you know, big capital cities like I don't know if I'm that interested to go to Brunei or like United Arab Emirates or like the super like rich Muslim countries. Like I'd love to go to Saudi Arabia. I'd love to go to Iran. Um, I think Kazakhstan I'd get kind of bored in. Like I would want to know where I could find like people living in a more traditional way there before I went, and I wouldn't want to go in the winter. Um, I'm sure there's parts of Africa I'd get kind of bored in, just because it's so fucking big. Like, obviously not gonna want to be everywhere there. I don't know. In Australia, I've never been that interested in going to Australia. That's maybe the one place I just don't like. I'm sure I'll go there at some point, like just to make money, but I would be totally all right with never seeing Australia in my life. I would not. That would not be a regret I have. That and I guess living in the States again, like it's not something I feel like I really have to do. Um, but other than that, I guess I want to go most places. Places where it's been pretty industrialized, like, and there isn't going to be that much nature, like, be it like desert or forest or mountains or whatever it is, like, you know, for the most part, I won't be interested in being there. Like in India, I mean, it's not like developed, but it's there's so many people living there. It's not rural in a lot of the places I was, I guess is how I would describe it. Like, they're cities, so it's like, in Delhi, there isn't really like nature in Delhi. Um, so it's not like, I don't know. Yeah, I really have to go back. Like, right now, I feel like I have to be back in India, because I feel like it's so important that I spend more time there. Even though I was like, I hadn't, I don't know, I feel so compelled to be in India right now. Like, if I wasn't in Thailand, I would be in India, Like, because this is literally my favorite place in the world where I am right now, but if I was anywhere else, I would just be like, get that 2-month visa and just be on a plane to fucking, wherever the cheapest plane ticket was back into India. Um, and try to do it a little. I don't know if I'd even do it differently. I'd probably do the exact same shit. Oh my god. Oh my god. Maybe I'll just go to India. My visa's about to expire here, so I've been planning to do a visa run, but I don't know. Maybe I'll just leave. I'll see what flights are like. That would be such a hassle. Be better to make some more money again, but fuck that, right? Um, yeah, right now I kind of want to stay here, go to Vietnam, and kind of really just stay in Thailand a while, like a long ass time, and then I can kind of, I mean, I don't know. I have to find out how to make a little bit of money if I'm gonna like, I don't know. It depends. But we'll see. We'll see. I've got a lot of time still. Still very young. Um, and I don't want to rush anything. Like, I want to enjoy it. You see, when I list everything, it sounds pretty short, because it's just kind of like, if we say Africa's 1 year, Middle East is 6 months, and Japan, Korea, Vietnam is another 6 months. Then China's a year, Russia's a year. Brazil I won't count because I want to move to Brazil. You know, Mexico's 3 months, and UK is 3 months, and Mongolia's 3 months, and back to like Alaska, whatever, is 3 months. And then I don't know, sometime in Canada and the States, I can give that another year. And then like some months in Israel, some months in Mongolia, some months in Eastern Europe. Say give that a year, and then say a year trip in Europe. That right there is only 8 years, you know, and that's basically everything. And then you say maybe some time in Mexico, and some time in South America, and the Caribbean, give that like another 2 years. And that's 10 years, you know? And that's already like way more than what I was even talking about originally. So that's just what I'm saying. It's like, it sounds like it's going to take forever, but, and then say I have to like work half the time, so then it's 20 years. And I'm like 25 now, so I could do this all by the time I'm like 50. You know what I mean? And then I'd be fucking 50. So, like, realistically, I feel like it would probably not even be so long that I was spending in every country. You know, it'd probably change along the way, but like, I don't know. To do it, combine it with work, if this is really like keeps being what I want to do, like, I think it could be anywhere from, you know, like 7 to 15 years. Kind of working and traveling on and off. You know? But I might get bored pretty fast of shit like that. You know? I might just move back to the States and live in a car. I don't think I'll ever want to live in an apartment in the States. I don't even know why I live in an apartment here. Okay, there's something else I wanted to talk about, but I'll make that in a separate video.